Today I'm making chicken korma. I'm using leg and thigh pieces, and this is the equivalent of say 1.5 chicken. 1 dessert spoon of ghee. I'll be using oil as well. I don't want too much ghee in my korma. 2 dessert spoon of Greek style yogurt. 5 onions. Now if this was a normal curry, I'd use 3 onions, 3 medium onions. 250 ml of milk. Now with korma you need lots of ginger garlic, and these are frozen ginger garlic I got from Tesco. I'm using green chillies, garam masala, whole garam masalas, and here I've got 1 dessert spoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of cumin, coriander, and some crushed chillies there, about half a teaspoon, just for colour really. Now you don't have to put the crushed chillies in if you don't want it. It will make it slightly hot. So yeah, let's get started. So I've put 2 dessert spoon of oil in. I'm going to add the ghee, the whole garam masala, the ginger garlic paste, and the onions with the salt. I will probably need more salt later, but to begin with I'm going to add my salt, 1 dessert spoon of salt. And the trick is with korma, it tastes better and the aroma comes out more the browner the onions. So it has to be really I think it takes roughly half an hour just to cook the onions and brown them really well, and that's the trick of making a nice korma. Now I'm not going to blend, I've put in whole onions, as you can see, chopped onions. I'm going to blend it after the onion browns and cooks properly, just so the consistency of the korma is nice. I think if you put in blended onions to begin with, it just comes out kind of muddy, and I really don't like the consistency. It just comes. Now while I'm waiting for my korma onions to cook, I'm going to make pilau rice, which goes really well with korma. So I've put in 1.5 medium-sized onions, finely chopped. And I'll be adding 2 blocks of ginger garlic paste once the onions brown slightly. There's 1 dessert spoon of oil and 1 dessert spoon of ghee in there. Now you can add vegetables to your korma, pilau rice, when you put the rice in. I'll be making it with 2 cups of rice today. And yeah, and green chilies at the end. The onions for the pilau rice have browned slightly, so I'm going to put the ginger garlic frozen blocks in now. The onions are nice and brown, so I'm going to add the rice. I've decided to add a handful of mixed vegetables, and these are avocado ones that I absolutely love. I don't know, they just taste really good. So I've added 3 green chilies, mixed vegetable. I've taken the beans out, don't want the beans in there. Half a dessert spoon of salt. You can add more if you want to taste later. I'm going to put boiling water in now, about 1 centimeter above the rice level, and yeah, you can taste it once the water boils in the pan as well, and cooks slightly once the rice slightly cooks. And if you want to add more salt in, you can do. Make sure you drain the water completely from the rice, and then yeah, now it's time to add the water. I've stirred it quickly and mixed it in properly, and I'm going to cover it and let it boil and cook. Don't stir it too much because you don't want the rice to break. So I'm going to add slightly more water to the rice. Pilau rice. It hasn't cooked well, and it definitely looks like the water has dried out, so I'm going to add a bit more. The rice is cooked, pilau rice, so I'm going to take it off the hob now. The onions are cooking slowly but surely. I did tell you, it does take a while, and I'm going to let it brown properly before I add in the spices. I'm also going to add 5 boiled eggs to the korma. Sorry, I forgot to mention earlier. So now the korma onions have shrunk quite a bit and the water has completely evaporated and it's browned quite a bit, as you can see. I'm going to add the spices now and let it cook for about 10-15 minutes. Turmeric and coriander and cumin. Let that cook for a bit, and once I've added the chicken, I'm going to put the chili flakes in. So the onions are almost ready. Now I'm going to blend it, but before I do that I'm going to take the bay leaves out and the garam masalas that I've put in out of the onions, and then after blending I will add it again. I've used a hand blender to blend the onions, and it always serves to count how many cardamoms you put in, so you know exactly how many to look for and take them out. Now I'm going to add my chicken. Let the chicken cook about 70% of the way before adding the milk and yogurt. Now some people add double cream instead of milk and yogurt, or creme fraiche, but I find it just tastes nicer with milk and yogurt and it's not too rich. Also you can cook it with butter. I forgot to mention, you can cook it with butter instead of ghee and oil, and I think I actually prefer butter now that I think about it. Just remember that I normally use butter as well when I don't have any ghee, and it does taste really good and it does smell very nice with butter as well. So instead of ghee and oil you can add butter. I've put the chicken in now, and now I'm going to put the heat completely down and cover it and let the water come out of the chicken and cook in its own water. So the chicken is almost cooked, so I'm going to add the yogurt and the milk now and the boiled eggs, and just before taking it off the hob I'm going to add the green chillies. Cook it for roughly 10-15 more minutes after the milk and yogurt goes in, just so it goes in well with the chicken and goes into the eggs as well. Added some of the milk to the yogurt and whisked it to get rid of the lumps and just make it slightly more smoother. Just so there's no lumps in the korma. You'll see patches of yogurt in the korma, which doesn't look very good. Yogurt and the milk has gone in. Going to give it a good stir and cover it and let it cook for 10-15 minutes before adding the eggs. Also add the chili flakes and the green chilies in a bit. Now the korma is almost ready. I'm going to add one last thing, which is green chilies, and don't miss this part because the green chilies add so much more flavour and aroma to the korma, and it just brings it together somehow. Of course it looks good too. And that's it, it's done.